Well, here's an interesting stat you might have not known. Do you know that on average here in the U.S., people fill up their gas tanks 38.9 million times a day? And right now, the national average for a gallon of unleaded gas is currently $3.23. Now, why is that important to you? And how does it impact your family and possible travel plans for the rest of the summer? Well, it might have to do with something that's happening nearly 7,200 miles away from the U.S. If you're paying attention to what is happening in the Middle East with the current conflict between Israel and Iran, gas prices could impact your everyday life depending on the moves that are made, especially from Iran. How? Well, for that, let's bring in Matt McClain, petroleum analyst for GasBuddy. Matt, we appreciate you joining us. Every time there is a conflict in oil-rich countries, gas is always a hot topic with families. And the question a lot of us are asking, why did gas go up or go down? So start there with the claim that gas prices will be impactful and explain how it works regarding the price of oil.
Very simple question, right? No, the reality of the situation, Joe, is that crude oil, the Middle East produces a whole lot of crude oil. Does the United States produce a lot? Absolutely. Canada, Mexico? Sure. But whenever you have a hiccup in the system, in other words, an ongoing conflict, that creates a lot of jittery nerves, especially amongst the consumer. And it's certainly an understandable situation. So we've seen gas prices start to tick up over the last couple of weeks due to the ongoing conflict. Now that we've got a ceasefire, however, and it has been shaky, understandably, but it looks as if this ceasefire is going to hold. And it looks like folks within the oil markets themselves are convinced it's going to hold. So we've been seeing a huge sell-off in crude oil over the last couple of days, and that's going to translate into lower gas prices at the pump by as early as this weekend across the nation. You mentioned the gas price average of $3.23 a gallon. We're actually beginning to see that fall just a touch already on a national average down to about $3.22. I know it's only a penny so far, but we'll take every one that we can get, right? So the reality of the situation is that we are looking at the Middle Eastern conflicts. It always makes things a little bit jittery. Then you have the saber rattling, the threat to close the Strait of Hormuz, which is a whole lot easier said than done. And it just creates a lot of nervous anxiety, and understandably so, not just with the consumers, but really leaders across the globe.
Yeah, in the meantime, and I like that you said it is going down. It doesn't matter if it's a sin or not. Tom and Nancy, a nice older retired couple in their late 60s from Boulder, Colorado, or take Janine, a single mom of two in Tulsa, Oklahoma. They're planning getaways for the July 4th weekend, as well as possible travel plans for the rest of the summer. Matt, how should they structure their budget when it comes to gas? What's the message to those who want to be frugal?
4th of July weekend, I think we can safely say will be cheaper than what we are right now, courtesy of the falling price of crude oil and wholesale gasoline. In fact, we are seeing price points for crude oil about where they were prior to the Israel and Iran conflict, which started. We saw a really big uptick, $10, $12 a barrel overall on average from the moment that the conflict was about to start, then through the last couple of weeks. Now we're seeing things begin to relax a little bit. So price points definitely will be coming down for the 4th of July. No question about that whatsoever. And you can obviously utilize the GasBuddy app and even plan your trip through there. And it will actually highlight the cheapest gas stations along your travel plans so that you can, of course, save money in every general direction. If you don't have to fill up right now, don't. Wait a few days because the price will probably be cheaper. Obviously, if you do need gas today, get it today. But if you can wait off a couple of days, I actually think prices are going to start falling.
Okay, so the topic of tariffs has been put on hold for now, but tariffs are clearly impacting prices of certain goods. Matt, a business owner, let's say his name's Mike. He's in Burlington, North Carolina. He's trying to maintain his fleet of cars for his business throughout the summer. Have you seen major fluctuations in gas prices with tariffs, and predict, if you can, what's ahead even after the summer?
Well, fortunately for Mike and everyone else, we've had a little bit of a carve out when it comes to the tariffs and crude oil. It has not been a huge impact. Whatever has been factored in right now for tariffs, that's where we are currently. And as of this point, we don't see a whole lot of additional going back and forth with the tariffs, if you will. Of course, that is pretty much a crystal ball situation for just about anybody to have as anyone's guess. But for right now, and what looks and appears to be the case in at least the rest of the summer, tariffs, fingers crossed, not paying and not creating a whole lot of panic or price point increases in the price of gasoline at the local pump.
Yep, we're on a nice little pause right now, and I think that ends sometime in August. And lastly, you talked about gas apps a minute ago. More important now than ever before. What are some of your top choices for consumers that they should have on their phones to help alleviate the pain at the pump? You mentioned GasBuddy's app. Of course, that's always helpful.
It is. Yeah. GasBuddy's app is basically your one-stop shop. It's going to be able to help you in just about every aspect. And there are even ways to save money on top of finding the local cheapest gas prices in your area on the app. You can do different methods, and even the GasBuddy card that you can attach to your personal account, and it will actually continue to save you money on top of what you're seeing on the signs along the side of the road for the price of gasoline. So many different ways to save money, and that's basically what we are all about, is helping the motorist and the consumer save as much as they can on gas prices. I will throw out one other little fine point. Make sure, especially in the summer heat, that you have your vehicle at its premium, operating efficiency. Tires inflated, any kind of oil changes, and the normal routine services that you need to have performed. And then finally, a little bit of less of a lead foot on the gas also helps with some efficiency as well. Cruise control, very, very helpful if you happen to be planning a long trip. That helps keep things more efficient as well and saves you money.
Yeah, two words that you just mentioned: save money. That's what families want these days. Matt McClain, GasBuddy, we appreciate you joining us and providing some great feedback to help our viewers battle any pain at the pump that they might endure this summer. Thank you, Matt.
Have a good one.